play nerd. I play nerd.
Get those wonderful toys.
Snoochie Boochies, everyone. This is another I Play Nerd toy unboxing and review. This time, we have multiple figures from the Masters of the Universe Thundercats crossover. Here's all of Wave 1, going from right to left. We have Skelra, the ever-living evil of Eternia, which is a crossover between Mumra and Skeletor. We have out of the packaging, because he was too cool, I had to open him up and start playing with him a lot earlier. Lionel, Lord of the Thundercats, he is the leader. We have Battle Catman, who's an original character. Most powerful cat in the universe, sure. I was kind of iffy on this character, but I had to get the entire set, and I've always liked Battle Cats, so I thought I'd give him some respect here. Then we have Chitara, the fastest feline in the universe, and surprise, we have Wave 2 also. So He-Man, most powerful man in the universe, in a different kind of costume going on here, and different kind of weapons to accommodate this crossover. We have Panther, the heroic Thunderian battle master, kind of like a man-at-arms type. And we have Tigra. Let me shift it over so you can see Tigra, the heroic Thunderian scientist. All looking fantastic in packaging. So let's take a quick look at the packaging while we're at it. It is, let me move some of these guys out of the way. Most of these will be the same, but here's a Wave 2 packaging. I really enjoy that art that they have on there. On the back, you get some information. Let me show you the camera. And let's just do all of them. There's the back of Panthro. There's the back of Tigra. You want to read them. Let's move those out of the way. Let's take a look at the Wave 1 packaging. First, starting off with Lino. Same as the Wave 2. No difference. The front, but on the back, of course, you're going to have different cross-sell, different information for the different characters. Lino, Battle Cat Man. There's the information for him. And the cross-sell. Chitara. There's the information on her. And the cross-sell. And the big boy, Skelra. Similar patterns. There's a picture of Skeletor on one side, and a picture of Mumra on the other side. That's actually pretty cool. Anything on the bottom? Nope. But there's information on him. He is a Wave 1 character. So he's with Lionel, Chitara, and Battle Cat Man. Alright, that's enough of looking at packaging. Let's bust these Thundercats open. Here are all the action figures out of the packaging in their crossover forms. And to be honest, the big reason why I got these is because I want to be able to display Thundercats in their more traditional, nostalgic, original, cartoon accurate form. I do appreciate the accessories that make them look like a crossover with Masters of the Universe. I do want to have these in the same scale as Masters of the Universe, but displayed in their more cartoon accurate form, because that's just how I remember them in my head. But let's take a look at them in their crossover forms, starting with the big boy himself, Skelra, an amalgam of Skeletor and Mumra. You can see that he's got Skeletor's head, he's got Mumra's body. So you see, well, and I'll do a transformation too. I'll show the actual Thundercats cartoon accurate, so you can see the whole nostalgia seeping through. But he does look pretty cool for a crossover figure. He's got aspects of both Skeletor and Mumra. He's got the horns for, which looks like plays homage to Skeletor's staff, his Havoc staff. Skeletor's face, which his mouth is not. Let me get some better lighting on here. His jaw is not articulate, but you could kind of move it around a little bit. And he's got kind of a Skeletor-like, what do you call this, loincloth going on here, which is going to be able to be exchanged out for something that's more appropriate from a classical looking Mumra. He's got a cape that's a little ripped up. That's purple on this side and red on this other side. And you'll see later that the purpose of the red part is because Mumra has a red cape on the inside. He's got this symbol on the chest, which I'm not too familiar with. At least off the top of my head, I can't remember what it is. He's got his bare feet showing. He's got his boots. He's got this, I don't know what weapon you call this, kind of like a double sword thing. He's pretty giant. This is a deluxe action figure, and of course, it's going to come at a higher price. So he looks cool. Throw him back there. Hopefully not knock over anything. Let's look at Tigra. Comes with his whip. Comes with this like translucent greenish armor as part of the crossover experience. I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not a big fan of covering up his face because I want to see Tiger's face that invokes that whole nostalgic emotion. So here he is. Looks cool as a crossover. Looks like he has an area where you can put a weapon, which not for his whip, but I don't know, maybe if he comes across a sword, he could have it. He can store it there. Has this little spiky shoulder pad, pads here on this translucent green armor. Some thigh pads, because why not? It's based on the 80s. And of course his whip. Here's his mask up close. Not really, like I mentioned earlier, not really a big fan of it. I don't like covering up his face, even as a crossover with Motu. So I'm going to leave that off. He's going to be mid-transformation. Chitara, the fastest feline girl out there, has a headgear that pulls back her hair, has a little armor with the Thundercats emblem on it, has a boots with the fur, as you can see also with Tigra, which is very, very Masters of the Universe, very Masters of the Universe like. On the back, kind of looks like an apron. Maybe she's doing some cooking too. She does have, this is supposed to be I believe her staff is supposed to be expandable and retractable, so it starts off as small, and then you expand out to this, so she probably shouldn't have both at the same time. You can fact check me on that. I'm not 100% sure on. But I do think she looks pretty cool as a crossover character. As is. Moving on to Panthro, which makes a lot of sense that he crossed over with Man-at-Arms. He does have that Man-at-Arms type of, I don't know what you call this, chest plate that kind of covers the neck also on him. He does have this mask. Once again, I'm not a fan of covering up his face. If he had some type of headgear like what Chitara and Lino have, and if Tiger had it also, I'd probably appreciate it more. But I don't like covering up their face because it removes, it kind of hides the nostalgia. I want to see Panther's face, so I'm actually going to remove that now. But here is the neck plate that is mixed a crossover, an amalgamation with Man-at-Arms. Really, it doesn't serve any purpose. And I don't know, maybe it's a gas mask or someone farted, so he has to cover up his nose. Otherwise, there's just no purpose of having this. It's just to have Motu crossover feelings to it. He has one shin guard. He has boots with the fur, so it's Masters of the Universe like. He does have kind of Man-at-Arms type weapons that have interchangeable aspects to it. So this is a ball and chain mace, which you could actually take off and connect an axe to, which is neat. See, I think this looks okay. This looks pretty cool as a crossover figure because you can see the aspects of Masters of the Universe where he has very Man-at-Arms influence, but he still retains that Panthro type feel to him. He does come with sort of a loincloth thing right here. And he does have his traditional nunchucks that you see for Thundercats, where it's like a cat claw on both sides, one blue, the other side red, connected by a chain. So that's Panthro. I think he looks cool if you take off the mask. Moving on to the leader of the Thundercats himself, good old Lino, which I also think looks good as a crossover figure because they just throw on a headgear, but you can still see his face and still can tell it's Lino. He's not hiding anything. He does have a He-Man type harness on his chest, which they do include a Thundercat symbol on there. He does have the, I believe this is Preternian, some type of Preternian lion that was very prevalent in the 80s as far as the Eternia playset goes. It's very iconic of the Eternia playset. So that kind of, I think that was a very creative choice as far as combining it with a Thundercat to have that crossover feel with Masters of the Universe. I really like this Lino as a crossover figure. If I were to get doubles, she'd be the one I would get because he looks really cool as a crossover figure. He does have his glove right here. I can't remember what it's called. It does lack some paint on it, so that's kind of a bummer that it's just one color, but it's a lower price figure. He has a loincloth that is more, traditional with Motu, as well as the boots with the fur. And he has his sword with the Eye of Thundera, which is exactly as it is for traditional Thundercats. No change to it to make it a crossover with Motu. And I prefer it like that. I'd rather have the sword to be just original to the Thundercats lore. So that's Lino. Going on to He-Man in crossover form. He does come with a He-Man classic harness that I'll show a little bit later. But this is also a nice design for a crossover figure because you can tell it's He-Man, but he has some Thundercats type stuff added to it. They're a little more pronounced cat features to it, which I believe is also kind of influenced by the Eternia playset from the 80s. He has this helmet is really like, it's kind of funny. This is similar to what Battlecat wears in the, is that more like the 2000X version? Possibly, maybe. I'd have to look at another Battlecat from the 80s to see if it's similar to it, but it does kind of look more like Battlecat gear that you put on top of them, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. A lot more fur on them. I don't know, maybe it's cold outside, so you get that. He does have a shield with claws on it, cat claws on it, is how I'm interpreting that. His sword is a combination of the Power Sword and the Thundercat sword with the Eye of Thundera. Oops, I just lost his helmet. Helmet doesn't always go on there centered, but that's okay. As far as He-Man goes, I'm not sure if I want to display him as more of a traditional looking Motu character or as the crossover. I'll play around with it and decide after that. But the combination of the power sword and the sword of Thundera, it looks pretty cool. I do wish he would have came with a traditional power sword, just so you could make him go traditional He-Man and be, alongside Lion-O if you don't have any other Motu action figures. But that's He-Man. And then I'll say a complete original figure we got coming up next. A reinterpretation of Battlecat with Battlecat Man. And Battlecat, who's anthropomorphized. Probably one I'm going to keep as a crossover because there's really no way to make him just completely traditional Motu because he's just not a traditional Motu character. Unless you just remove the Thundercats emblem from him. Can't seem to keep these claws on there. Nope. A little harder to do when I'm trying to film this too. But he does just look like Battlecat got. You could do like a triple crossover. It's like Battlecat got the mutagen from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he turned into Battlecat Man. That's something they should have thought of. God damn, these claws. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to keep this claw Battle Cat man. He doesn't hold on them; these kind of snap on, close to where he normally holds something. So he's got that. There's what he looks like without his headgear. I'll put the headgear back on, and my light just went out. Oh, let me see if I get that. There it is. Oh, I'm running low on battery. So I'm gonna run through Battle Cat Man real quick. Real quick. Just have the loincloth, boots with the fur, bare feet. Just have Battle Cat like armor. Yeah, some here. I'm not sure what we're supposed to put them back here, but they're peg holes for something. Otherwise, he does look like a pretty cool original character. He is one of the ones that if I was just trying to stay traditional, I wouldn't get him, but he just looked cool, so I just won't have to get him. So that's it for them and their crossover gear. Now let's remove all our crossover gear. Let's get a little more traditional Thundercats. And here are the Thundercats in their more traditional looks, with the exception of He-Man. Well, that's as about as traditional as you can get with them. And Battle Cat Man, who is more of an original character based on the original Motu Battle Cat. But before we look at the figures, let's take a look at some of the things they came with for storytelling purposes. Here is put together what Skill Rock came with. Kind of a neat little card there that I'll eventually throw into a storage bin and never see again. And here's the background on Mumra. And here's the background on Skeletor. Coming with the other characters, we do have the comic books. This one came with Lion-O, Chitara, and Battle Cat Man. I'm not going to go through each panel, each page, but it's some okay reading. Nothing. I feel like the story was very bland. Really to be excited about. And this is the one that came with Wave 2. He-Man, Tigra, and Panthro. Little peek inside the book. But that's what they come with. Now let's take a look at the individual figures themselves. Starting with, let's go with the bad guy. Let's go with Mumra. He's got the little, I don't know if this is smoke that comes around, which is a nice little effect that you have there. He does have the red cape that's a little beat up with holes in it. He has the double-edged sword. I forgot what it's called. The sword of something. He's got a skirt. There's the upskirt. If you want to see what he's got going on up there. He's got his shin guards. He has bare feet. Looks pretty classic. His face looks pretty good. Looks like Mumra with the wind blowing through him. Here's a look at the back. Nice figure. Much larger than the other figures of this first two waves. All right, Lord of the Thundercats, Lion-O. Here he is. Looking classic. He does go bald if you want him to. Boop, he's bald. This is just a little feature you have so that you could transition him between his classic look and his, we'll just say, crossover look. His kind of a little complaint on my part is that I think his glove is a little bit lacking in color, lacking in paint. But it's, for the price you pay, I guess that's okay. You can take it off. I just knocked everyone over. You can take it off and you can hang it. He has a little belt loop thing there. And you can give him a regular hand without the glove on. There it is. Lion-O looks pretty fucking cool. This is the Lion-O that I imagine they can make. Matches the cartoon. Pretty damn close. I like it. Like it a lot. Here's the Sword of Thundera. It only comes in its more extended phase. It doesn't come in the little dagger phase before he makes it. Before he makes it extend out when he says Thunder, Thunder, Thundercats ho. But that's Lion-O. He looks awesome. All right. Chitara and Tigra, you go back up. Up, up. It's time for some Panther action. He looks badass. This is Panther right here. He got the spikes on his vest here. Costume looks awesome. He comes with his nunchucks where each end it has a cat claw on it. Definitely very nostalgic of that 80s Thundercats look. He looks amazing. Moving on to Tigra. Also looks great for making him resemble how he looked in the 80s cartoon. Looks fantastic. There's the front. There's the back. Costume looks great. And I've been looking at a lot of pictures just to jog my memory of the 1980s cartoon. He has the whip, which is really cool. It's made out of string here, kind of like a shoelace. So it's not just some flimsy plastic that can't really function like a whip. But that's Tigra. Also looks good. Chitara, of course, she looks great. Whoops, not go to the camera. She also can go bald if you want to. Oh, no, she can't. Her hair stays on. But she comes with her patent bow. It does have, technically you can't have the bow here and there because it extends out. So if you want to keep it cartoon accurate, you only have it one there, or you take away the extended one and you just keep it here where she stores it. But she looks great. She looks just like the cartoon. There's a front. There's the back. There's her Chitara butt. But I want to have her hold her bow because she looks cooler that way. Battle Cat Man, we looked at it earlier already. Not much you could change to make them look like a classic. I don't know, maybe if you took some of that shit off. But let's throw it back on. In the comics that I just showed you, the comics that he comes with that tells you the story of this crossover. Oh shit, I keep knocking crap over. Battle Cat Man is actually a Thundercat. I believe he comes from Thundera. They didn't get too much into it, but they did say that he is a Thundercat. At least Lino identifies him as a Thundercat. So nice little change of the story there. This crossover is based on an alternate reality. I think the Thundercats are from the cartoon because they're from I think it's called Third Earth. And then the Motu characters are from what's called Third Eternia. So it's not regular Eternia. And about to knock over Chitara. And here's He-Man, and as close to his classic look as you can get him. He does have this combined Sword of Omen with a power sword. And I'm going to say in the comic books that they come with, they don't tell you why he has this. He actually has a regular power sword. So don't know why they gave him this sword. It looks cool. Let's get a little closer look at it. So it's a combination of the power sword and the Sword of Thundera. So you have Thundercats logo right there. You have the Sword of Omens that gives you sight beyond sight. No explanation of why it's like that. I kind of wish it would have came with a regular power sword. I do have enough from my Motu Origins figures I could probably grab and have him hold on to. But I still think he should have came with a regular power sword, given they don't even explain it in the freaking comics. But his harness looks good. It's nice and silver. I like the paint on it. Closer to the cartoon look with I believe the original Masters of the Universe action figures. His harness had all these red dots on it, which seemed kind of unnecessary. So they kind of simplified it for the cartoon. That's what this closely resembles. His hair does look a little bit different. He has it kind of tied up in a little ponytail back there. His loincloth is a little bit longer. Wants to cover up his junk more. He has these stripes on, these bands on his arm and on his leg, which I don't know why they're on there, but whatever. He's got the boots with the fur. Very, very classic look for Motu characters. He's buff as shit, of course, because he's He-Man. And that's really it. He has a place to store his sword, which is cool. I do dig that. This is a cool looking variant of He-Man. I do like it. I actually do like it in the crossover form where he has all the cats on them, but I do have to go for the classic look of him, or close to the classic look of him. So that's why I like to keep him in this form. And that brings us to the end of this toy unboxing interview of Wave 1 and Wave 2 of the Masters of the Universe and Thundercats crossover. I'm going to say the Thundercats are definitely worth picking up, merely for the fact that you can change them into their classic looking costumes from the 1980s cartoon. If you want to pick up extra so you can have them in the crossover form, great for you. Not really what I want. I like them in their classic looks. Battlecat Man is cool to have because he's a nice new interpretation of Battlecat, and works great for the crossover. The variant of He-Man, I think it looks cool. I do kind of have beef that he's not come with an actual original power sword instead of the combined power sword with the Sword of Romans. But I'd say every one of these is worth getting. Definitely, if you have to limit what you purchase, the Thundercats alone look fantastic. I would get those for sure. Then if you have a little extra time and funds, get He-Man and Battlecat Man. But this comes pretty close to, if you really want that Thundercats, 1980s looking Thundercats look to be in the same scale as your Masters of the Universe figures. This is definitely what you want to get. It is almost complete. I think it would be good if they released Wily Cat and Snarf. That would, in my opinion, that would collect the entire set for me. But I'm actually pretty pleased with this one. I have seen the Wave 3 that's coming out, which is just repaints of Lion-O, Panthro, and Battlecat Man. Next, they're going to make them Panther, so it's going to be Panther Man. And I'm kind of iffy on that. I more than likely will skip all three of those just because I just feel no need to get them. But I am pretty pleased with this set right here. So that's it. This is a great set to have, Wave 1 and Wave 2. Thundercats ho! Smell you later.